So this is part 2, the advanced user version, the Viking resource calculator. If you have any feedback, bug reports, please send this to valheimcalculator@gmail.com. Maybe you are a user that is trying to decide whether or not you want to purchase the tool, or if you are a user who has purchased the tool, thank you. Hopefully this will help a little bit. And if you need any additional tutorials or explanations, definitely send us an email at this address. So the spreadsheet has 3 sheets: instructions, item selector, shopping list. And actually, before I dive into that, make sure that you have made a copy of the sheet so you have your own instance. You're a viewer on the master sheet, so you can't actually affect it. So don't worry about, breaking anything, but just make sure you make your own copy. As we have updates, we'll make sure to issue out an email to all of the users and let you know that change has happened. So let's just jump into the instruction sheet. This is a full breakdown of all the tools that are on the shopping list page. Each smart tool on the shopping list has its own abbreviated instructions at the top of each tool, as you can see here. But if you have any questions, or you feel like something isn't quite explained well, or you'd like some more information, most likely it is in the instruction sheet here. There's also the item selector instructions. And this, what we wanted to do is just explain if there's a quick item lookup, if you want to know about the collapsible sections and columns, some of the way that the other columns on the left work, and then some of these rows up in these columns. And I'll show you sort of some of the special things that you can do with those. So let's just jump into the item selector. As you can see here, this is just kind of a nice starting point. Keep everything collapsed. Let's go ahead and expand everything. So when you saw the last video, you can just go through and select particular items. It's every craftable item in the game, as well as the couple items that you can get from the only NPC in the game right now. But that is grouped as crafting, travel, consumables, weapons and tools, armor, furniture, and structures. So up here at the top, we've got general resources, metal, trophies, cooking, and brewing. Let's go ahead and expand those. So here you can see it is all of the resources that you can collect in the game. It is the metal, the ore, the ingots, the bronze nails. We've got flame metal here. It's not being tracked in the shopping list because there's no use for it in the game yet. We've got trophies, and then we have all of the items that you can use in cooking and brewing. One of the nice features with this is that if you select a campfire, let's say we've got 10, let's create a lot of resources here, say 20. If you already have 400, or let's say 300 wood in your inventory, this is a nice way to subtract those values. So you can use this entire row 5, easily put what's in your inventory into this top row, so that you don't end up with a ton of extra wood or a ton of extra, stone or coal. Or let's go to the shopping list page. Here, like we had in the other video, this is your fabrication list, your shopping list. If you just want to use those tools, great. If you just decide, hey, I don't need to see all this, that's fine. So let me start with quick search. This lets you choose a category, and all of these sections are based on the sections in the item selector. And you can choose any item in the game and quickly have an understanding of what the materials are that go into that, the levels to craft and repair an item, the different stats and effects. I find all is definitely hard to track. So it's nice to go ahead and, go to a specific category, let's say melee. If you don't want to do the drop down, you can actually always type it. So it's just your standard drop down menu, and you'll see all of these will update. All of the stats and the effects, they should be accurate. Of course, gameplay changes as the game updates, and we'll make sure that we update that in the database. But for right now, this is all of the stats and effects that are either in-game or come from the official fandom wiki. So that is the quick search tool, the intelligent crafting tool. What we tried to do with this is capture the intermediate crafting steps that are required for, let's say nails or linen thread, or the sharpening stone. So what you don't want to have happen is you're collecting your tin and your copper, and you make too many bronze ingots and you needed copper and you have to go mine it again, or you accidentally craft 2 or 3 more stacks of nails than you need it, this is a way for you to see, okay, I only need one. You don't overspend one of these precious metals that you mine for, or, the flax or the barley. You get exactly what you need based on your resource list. So it's always good to start here. Another cool feature of intelligent crafting is based on the fabrication list, you get stations required. So for this one, the reason I need the artisan table is that I had selected the blast furnace. Workbench level 1, that's all you need to create some of these smaller base items. So that's how that tool works. It's always important to do these first. So the smelting tool is a nice little cheat sheet that tracks all of the metals except flame metal. And what we wanted to do here in the fields was not only have copper, but what else is copper used for? You can use it for copper items like the forge. You can use it for bronze items or nails. So I think in this instance, we have some bronze ingots in this. We have some bronze nails here. So it just lets you know, hey, we're going to use it for all those. It tracks the total amount of ingots or the ore that you'll need to smelt. And then it's the same sort of naming in some of these other fields based on what's possible with those items. So the only other one really is iron ingots. We'll have nails crafting. But other than that, it should all be pretty straightforward. It also gives you coal. So from what we could see, there's some rounding that happens. So some of the lower cost ingots, they're like 2.1 ratio. And then some of like the iron and silver are 3.1 coal to ingot. So this is an approximation. It's always good to have a little bit more than you think you would need. So maybe, add another 10% on top of that. So you can see here with selecting the bronze mace, it increased the amount of copper, tin, bronze we need. It's a ton of cost. The coal that you have to track down is 573 wood. It's a lot. Now, 2 hours and 14 minutes. If you want to reduce that, at one point we had 30 smelters in operation. So, hey, I can get this down to 4 minutes and 28 seconds with 30 smelters. The rest of it, it's just simple math. But it does give you a sense of like what's possible based on the resources and the smelters that you have in operation. The armor set crafting, this is a cool tool that we wanted to develop because we found that you can go into this item selector list to select a single troll. Leather pants, we wanted to do a cape. Level 4s, you can do that. If you want to make this easier on yourself and you just want to create a full set, you can go into this armor set crafting tool. Go to armor type, let's do troll. And there's a couple different options here. So number of sets, obviously if it's one player, it's one player. If you're playing with 10 people, which is the max on a server right now, you could do that if somebody's the blacksmith or the tailor. So let's just say, it was me and my brother playing, so we'll do it as 2. And then what's nice is you can do a new set or you can upgrade. If you do a new set, really easy, desired level, max 4, and you can see that you've got a new set, level 4, 2 pieces each. It automatically filters to the shopping list so that you know exactly what that resource count is. If you want to upgrade, let's say you have a level 1 set, you killed a ton of trolls. The amount of hides that you need to make troll armor is ridiculous. Upgrade from 1 to 4, it's like a nice little instruction. Gives you all of those ingredients that you need to make those armors, and you are off and rolling. So next is the comfort. Based on those items that I selected, it gives you the comfort value, gives you the total comfort, and then the possible max rested buff duration. Your total comfort you can get is 17. The total time I think right now is 24. And so what we wanted to do with this tool is let you easily determine from what it is that you've built, what that max can be. You can also go in and match. You can select all of the furniture section. A nice little trick is if you select all these cells and you click space, it easily lets you select all that. Let's go to the shopping list. You can see that's 17. We've got 14. It looks like it's really mostly the furniture that affects everything. And then finally, we have the DIY grocery. What's cool with this tool is that based on the selected stat that you pick, health, HP, stamina, duration, it will give you the top 3 of those items that you might have in your inventory, like maybe you're thinking of making. So if you are in the meadows and you've got cooked meat, grilled necktail, honey, and raspberries, automatically you know if I eat these 3, I will have the maxed possible health. If there are ties in the items, let me see if I can get one. Oh, there's one. These 2 values will actually highlight because they're the same. So whatever you'd like to pick. You can see though, if you want to determine it by stamina, you can go ahead and maybe pick the higher item. But if there are ties in items and they happen to be the 3rd value or one of the 3rd values, they'll highlight. So if you see that there's 6 highlighted, and I'll show you an example of that. Don't worry, it's not broken. It's just when there are ties, it highlights those roles. So let's flip to stamina. This is an example of that. There's 3 stamina values that are the same, but if we click turnip stew, you can see it, the calculator automatically adjusts for that, and it says, hey, these are the combos that are going to get you the furthest for stamina. Same thing with duration, same thing with HP tick. I won't show you those. If you select all those, so again, shift, select all your cells, space, you'll get what those top 3 are if you wanted to do that. And then go in here, HP tick, duration, and health. So those are the tools. We are very excited to see what you guys think about this. Would love to get your feedback. Like I said, any bugs that you notice, please send it to valheimcalculator@gmail.com. The one thing that I do want to let you guys know, with the way that the formulas work, we have a series of filter formulas, there's queries, there's array formulas, so it's really important that you don't enter manual values in the sheet other than checkbox, the quantities, and then if you've got some extra inventory items. But anything that is in gray, don't touch. Or these colors. So you can see what'll happen here real quick. So if I did something here, breaks the whole sheet. So make sure that you don't enter anything manual. It's, if we need to make an update on the database sheet, we can, or we can direct you how to do it, but it's really important that you try not to do that yourself. Same thing with here. If you that should break it. So it is, like I said, very important that you don't enter values here. If you need something fixed, shoot us an email at valheimcalculator@gmail.com and we will try and make that fix for you. But with that, safe journeys in Valheim, and we hope you enjoy the tool.